Oh, we lived over the Van Wyck Expressway 2 blocks on the in Richmond Hill, South Richmond Hill. But I have a vendetta. Right off of Liberty Avenue, right on 134th Street.
Okay.
But I have a vendetta against South Richmond Hill because they called it South Richmond Hill when black folks started moving to South Richmond Hill, and it was like an imaginary borderline where that if you walk more toward like Lefferts Boulevard, you had bricks thrown at you, you got called the N-word.
Yeah, it was very racist over there. You live where the Italians were.
Exactly, and they were moving out.
And I just did it. Yeah, and they were very racist. I just did a job over there, I believe, right behind Home Depot off of Rockaway Boulevard.
I used to work at that Home Depot.
Yeah, right behind there. I did a job on 130th Avenue. I'm an asbestos contractor.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, wow.
They saw me. Yeah, they saw me over there. So they said, there goes the neighborhood. So I kept saying that every time we come there because all the black guys was working with me.
Right.
All the white people would slow down and look. And I would say, there goes the neighborhood.
There you go.
And we just start cracking up. I said, because now they're trying to figure, well, what are you guys doing over here? White people are very nosy.
Yes. Yes.
So they come and start looking to see what you're doing. And then now they see that they had asbestos in the house. No, the tile on the outside siding is asbestos underneath the transite.
Right.
The shingles. And I had to explain to them. So they do it. So who's moving in? I said, there goes the neighborhood.
Right.
He said, what did you say? I said, no, the Indian gentleman is moving in, the Muslim guy. See, when they come in, they'll accept them. They can enlarge the house, push the house out, take the pool out, make it bigger, make it look like a temple, and you guys are going to accept them in here.
Right.
And you're not going to have a problem. But see, when we come with our dollars that you don't want us to have, then it becomes, racism. Like, oh, who's going to be over here?
Right.
You're no better than me. Actually, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
If you really want to know. if you really want to know, I'm really better than you. I just had to say, I was trying to call you back, Louise, to tell you about the gas station because I'm just coming from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because I tried to use my card at the pump and then I had to go inside. And then I went to the register. So whenever I go to the same gas station when I was on PA.
Right.
And there's one line for both registers.
Yes.
So one lady comes up. Of course, she's white. She gets on the other side, and I didn't say anything. Then another lady came. I said, well, there's one line for both registers.
Right.
So, of course, one of them said, it's two registers. I said, well, this is their system. I didn't make it.
Right.
So now, of course, I'm going to be next. I'm in front of the line, and there's a guy behind me.
Right.
So the guy behind me doesn't say anything because they're all white. I'm the only black face in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I come there every Saturday there when I'm in this neighborhood. So, of course, I said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It said next, and I go to the line. Mind you, I tried to use my card at the gas station, and then it didn't go in. It says see the attendant.
Mm-mm.
So now she said, well, I can't give you gas because there's money on that line already. I said, well, can I ask you a question? Is it from my card? Because I tried to use my card first, and now it said to come inside.
Right.
So, of course, when the ladies on the other line who made their own personal line starts to talk and says, well, she's trying to help you. So, of course, my mouth being who I am, I turn around and I say, I don't need your help. Do I look like I need you to help me?
Right.
Okay? Do I look like I need your assistance here?
Button the nose in.
Well, I'm just saying to you. I'm just saying to you. I said, no, I don't want you to say anything to me. How about that? Is that okay with you?
Right.
I don't want you to talk to me.
Right.
All right? Who do you think I am? Do I look like I need you to help me? Look at you and look at me. It's kind of obvious. But it made me so annoyed because I say, just because we're up here in Pennsylvania, so she looks at my place and she sees, New York place. She said, well, we don't have that up in this area with New York place. I said, let me say something. I got a house in Pennsylvania. I got a house in New York. It doesn't matter what you have in your neighborhood. I said, and one thing's for sure, this ain't the goddamn 60s. Did you know that?
Right.
Okay?
Tell them.
And you don't have to talk to me, okay? So at the end of the day, I don't need your fat ASS talking to me about anything because I'm talking about my money. Is this your money up here at the register? I don't think so.
Right.
But they feel like they're so superior. Trailer park trash that live up in these damn houses that 30 yards down the road there's another house.
Right.
Not outhouses probably. But it's for you to think that you can tell me what to do.
Well, that's a feeling of entitlement. That's that condescending. Yeah. That's that, and they can come into a situation, and you're driving, right? You have a window open, or if you can.
Oh, I closed it. I'm sorry.
No, I can hear you better when it's a little close. But it's like they can walk into a situation and not know the hierarchy, and all of a sudden it's like they will put themselves in charge.
Engaged. Yes. And so when I come out, the black guy walks in. The black guy says to me, he says, "Mr. You okay?" I said, "Okay." He's not a white guy. So I said, "Listen here, I'm not intimidated by you, hon." I said, "You need to mind your business.
Right.
This is about my money. You have nothing to do with it. You're online." Well, she was trying to help me. I don't need her help because she don't know what transpired for her to help me.
Right.
Now, the best thing she can do to help me is be quiet.
That's right.
You understand that? I said, so I didn't need your assistance, but they have such a sense of entitlement, of importance. I said, listen, I make more money than you. I pay more taxes than you. Who are you? Because you feel that you're superior? I said, no, you're not. I'm better than you. I said, this ain't the 60s, baby. This is 2016. Don't get it twisted, okay? You know what don't get it twisted means? She says, I got a black husband. I said, good. Now you got some black penis. You should be happy. Okay? Now you feel self-important because you got a black man? Okay, now what?
Or they have an inroad to be able to talk about black matters because they have the black penis at home waiting for them.
Yeah, like, okay. So
or a black baby, too. If they have a black baby, it's even worse.
I'm sorry to go into like this.
No, I love it. Someone will tell you I love it. I love it. Just let it all hang out.
You know, they're just they're just so, oh my God, like who are you?
Right. And you know what cracks me up? Are the brothers and sisters of ours that fall into line with that. Like, okay, you are. Yeah, that's what cracks me up. You know, because they do what they do, and it doesn't shock me anymore. It's almost expected. But what really bothers me in this day and age in 2016 is that you have certain coons who just walk into a situation and assume the inferior, a subservient role. Yeah, that wind noise is getting kind of up. I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Are you on a speaker?
No, I'm on my earpiece.
Oh, okay. No, that's cool. It's just picking up some wind or something. But I'm getting you just to get this. Even if it's a little noise in the background, it's fire. You know what I mean? Because God knows we have enough foolishness out there that people can listen to that's not doing nothing for them. But you firing me up.
I'm firing you up.
Yeah.
No, we just, it's sad that we are so brainwashed and we become so conditioned to situations that we just go with the flow. And you can't keep going with the flow, okay? Not when you see a man get on TV and tell you don't have another choice, so you might as well vote for me. You live in the worst neighborhoods. You're not educated. You don't have great jobs, so you might as well go ahead and take a shot with me. And he's telling you what he feels about you, and you still want to tell me you want to vote for him. Why? It's just sad. But did you get a chance to watch the movie 13?
No, but I'm going to watch it within the next few days because I'm hearing so much about it, and I heard you saw it, and I want to hear what you have to say about it. And let's just jump on in. We got Summer here, of course, and Mrs. Scurv. My wife is here. We're listening, and we're just going to chop it up for a little while, and I want to hear it. Let's throw down, and don't censor yourself.
Well, you know what? Looking at the movie, being that I visit my ex-husband in the prison system, and knowing that when you come to these institutions, that the circumstances is so sad and depressing, but the history of how they have brought this system, this institutional financial situation, and made it so that this is where we're going to place them. Because now we don't have slavery any longer. So now we have a way of keeping you still in an area.
You breaking up.
Yeah. She's
breaking up.
Yeah, she's traveling through a spot.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, we're here. D, can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Up. If you could pull over, it'd be better if you could pull over because you're going to probably go in and out while you're driving. So it'd be much better.
Let me get to the welcome center. They just had a sign, welcome center, coming up.
Okay. But go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh, yeah. Feel free.
It shows you in the movie how they have we're no longer slaves, but now how can we keep them under control, basically? And the way of keeping us under control was allowing the system to say, well, we have to give them charges for minor charges to make it something big. Now we give them these charges, and it'll put them in a position where now they'll have a record. And then, I mean, the smallest minute things that they can charge you with, they did. Jaywalking, whistling at a woman, and this is how they started their system.
Right.
It shows you in the tape that in the very beginning of them putting them in prison, it was on a small Richter scale.
Right.
Now you show where it has gone from back in the 1900s. Now it was like building a building. It just went up, 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 up. And it's crazy. It went from being 100,000 to 200,000 to 250,000 to 300,000 to 750,000 to 1 million to 2 million men incarcerated. But it didn't affect nobody's household, but it just affected us and Hispanics. So now when you see everything that has been implemented, how they did it, it's you go back and say, yeah, okay, you guys already did this. You already did the design to keep us suppressed and to keep the men here, and then you make it into a business because it's no longer just you going to prison. Now you make the chairs in jail. Now you make the license plates are made in jails. Now you make, you make the man covers holes in jail. All these different institutions, you're
highway
making
signs.
Slave labor. You're making slave laborers where you give these guys $20 a month, but you said you're going to give them punishment for their crime. Punishment for their crime is building up your economy. If you taking this labor, it's worse than having stuff built in China.
Right.
It's worse than having stuff built in China. You like these men that you gave life to having 2-3 keys of cocaine. You didn't put them in jail with 9 life sentences for having 10 kilos of cocaine, and that's it for their life.
Right.
That's why here they can build a bomb.
But the thing is,
which I gave him.
for them trying to get that cocaine and move the cocaine, that's a no-no because at the end of the day, they deem it illegal, but it's a man trying to get money. You see what I mean? It's a black man trying to get money, although we know that they say it's illegal. But look at the fact that 94% of the hard drugs in the world are consumed by Americans. You see what I mean? So, 94% of the hard drugs in the world are consumed by Americans. So they'll knock somebody, and I'm not condoning going into that business. But then again, when you look at, the Kennedys and his father, how he moved with bootleg liquor that was just as illegal as cocaine is now, and he put them all through school, and we look at them like they're an American institution, and they're so worthy, and they're so this, and they're so grand. But the father is no different than a crack dealer, or a coke dealer. You know what I mean? So they play around with the laws, and it's engineered to have us that way. And now they have the television set to put in the internet to put things in our head to pre-program us to react a certain way because our desires are inflated. We got to get the nice car because we want that beautiful woman. We want that beautiful woman, so we got to have the crib, and we got to have the money to have the power over the next man to feel better about ourselves. We have to wear our self-esteem on our sleeves. You see what I mean? So they know us so well. You see, they're the ultimate hunters. They hunt men. Esau, they're the ultimate hunters. And so they study their prey. We're sitting down P-R-A-Y, and they're P-R-E-Y, preying on us, right? So they've studied us, social engineering, and we fall right into the trap. And that's why I try to talk to a lot of brothers every day when I'm in the street and just drop little things on them to make them understand. You tell them too much one time, they may not get it. But then when they listen to something and see how you move and you walk, to be bad, if you really want to be bad, it doesn't mean, carrying a gun and shooting your brother. Being bad is walking through the system unscathed and letting that oppressor, which most of the time is a white man in power, look at where he looks at you bedazzled like, how did you get to this age and how did you get so far without catching a scar, without getting a record? I remember when I went for corrections in upstate New York, and I didn't get it because I had a misdemeanor where they said what did I do to an officer? Assaulted an officer, right? And it wasn't the case. Or resisting arrest, right? But they dropped all of that. They beat me up because I was in a new car, right? So what they said was just take the disorderly conduct, and because they dropped it from felony to misdemeanor, and you don't have a record. After a year, we'll wipe it off. But they lied. They kept the resisting arrest, which wouldn't allow you to have a weapon in New York State, which if you work corrections and you're transporting inmates, you're going to have a weapon. So that's why I could not get that job. So what I'm saying on it to say this, I passed the psychological, I passed the background check as far as everything else is concerned, all the tests, I took it with flying colors and got near the top, if not the top. And the guy who was giving me the last interview, he said, you come down, you lived in New York City for all these years. I said, yes, sir. Because he's upstate New York. This is way up near Canada somewhere, right? And he's like, you never on drugs. You were never, you don't have any felonies. He says, wow. And that's to show you their opinion of us. But then again, they know it. New York State can't survive without New York City. I just have to drop that in there since we're speaking about prisons. New York State, upstate, where there is nothing except apples and farms and cold places, right? They can't survive without New York City. Why is that? Because New York City has so many bodies down there and so many black men down there and Latino brothers down there that the prisons become the industry in upstate New York. You got the sister who's working in the kitchen. You got the brother who's a guard. You got the older uncle who's driving the truck, bringing the things there. Places that had no economy now all of a sudden have economies. People got to come up there to visit. Well, guess what? There's a restaurant near the jail, so when people come and visit, there's a hotel near the jail. The prison. You see? So they want more prisons. So they know that we are the supplier of all of that. And the last thing I want to say on that particular thing is that statistically, and it's been a while since I checked, but I know for a fact that it has not changed, right? 90-something% or 80-something percent, or the majority of what's in the prisons upstate, and I know somebody's going to hear this and correct me on this, come from 5 neighborhoods in New York City. I know one of them is Harlem. I know one of them is Jamaica, Queens. I know one of them is Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. And it's interchangeable because out of the top 7 or 8, they're interchangeable and vying for the top 5 spots. But that's the majority. So when guys go upstate, hey, man, what's up? How you doing? Man, I haven't seen you in years. What's good? Their neighborhood is up there.
Oh, wow.
And it's engineered. So it goes in keeping, but they know this, but we don't know this. So they keep the mayhem going. You can't tell me that they don't make it easier for us to get guns, to kill off each other and all the little things now. So when you walk straight, they don't like you. Those who are in the system do not like you because this system is made for us to fail. And look at me. That's why I Muhammad Ali him all the time. 53 years old. I had that little bit of trouble. But look, I'm living the American dream and I rub it in their face. I'm not rich, but you know what? You can't get me on nothing. I know your tricks. And this is what I want to encourage most of our black brothers to understand. I feel the same frustration that they do, but I know how to deal with it. I act. I don't react. But you can continue with it, sister. You're bringing it good.
That's the thing with us as a people is that we're a very emotional people because by nature we're tribal people.
Right.
And it's easier to prey on people when you're always looking for a leader.
Right.
Because that's where our roots are. So I can come along, and if you don't have a good handle on who you are as a group of people and you have no roots and no foundation, then it's easier for me to come in and deceive you. And that's pretty much how they've gotten an edge over the African-American community. Because if you really think about it, there's no other group of people that they can really do that to. They really can't do that to people from India.
Right.
They're not going to do that to their young men. They're not going to do it to Asian Americans, whether it be Koreans, Japanese, etc. And then I can hear people saying right now, well, that's because they come here and they go to school and they contribute to our economy. Well, yeah, because they came in over years after all the conditioning and programming that you've done to black people.
That's right.
Of course they come over here because initially, that's what we were setting out to do. We can just look at the whole tragedy with the Oklahoma Wall Street.
Yes, and they don't like us when we're independent.
On fire. Because of a lie. Because a Caucasian woman said that a black man raped her.
Right.
And so they went into the community. Why didn't they just arrest him? They didn't arrest him, which he didn't do it, but why didn't they just arrest him?
They wanted an excuse.
They wanted to destroy that community because they started noticing that the black people were making, economically, they were arising and they were afraid and they were coming together as families. And I think, too, I have to say that Black people, obviously, was more unity amongst Black people because we had no choice.
Right.
Whereas now they make us feel as though, oh, racism is behind you. It's not like that anymore, and it's not. There is no racism. But America was built on racism.
That's the foundation.
That's the social construct of this country is racism. And it's never going to go away. That's so evident.
Right.
It's never going to go away. Every day when you look in, they remind you of how great their women are. Black men can disrespect black women all they want, but I bet you what, when Donald Trump, when they revealed that this man was disrespecting white women, everybody was coming to the front line defending them.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let their women be disrespected. You're not going to disrespect. You had so many people coming out speaking on behalf of white women. Now, when Bill Cosby did what he did, nobody really come and defend those Caucasian women per se, but because of who he is. But for the most part, Donald Trump, with him disrespecting all these different women, nobody's going to stand idly by. I can assure you, the Republican Party, and some of them have even come out and said, I have daughters. You know what I mean? They think about their daughters. They think about their future.
Right. They cross party. Even in their own party, they said, we ain't going for that.
No, because they're not going to let you disrespect their women. You understand? Whereas black men, they like, yeah, we got. They just have they don't understand. They don't understand that there has to be a line drawn.
Yes.
Even if you do feel that way, you don't go publicly and say that, because really and truly, all it does is define who you are, or less of who you are as a man. Because I cannot tell you how many men I had. Indian man say this to me, and I had a Hispanic brother say this to me. Why do black men disrespect black women? Now, I defend black men.
Right.
Me personally, I'm like, all black men are not like that.
Right.
I personally have uncles that love their wives, that have been with just their wives, as far as I know.
Right.
Now, not everybody. I have my grandfather, who I was raised under him. While he was, he lived his life a certain way, he was a provider and he was a protector.
Right.
So I do have men in my family that I can look to and say that they were and are men.
Right.
So I don't allow other races who do not even understand the struggle of the black community to pull down or tear down black men. I have a son. I'm not going to let another group of people, unless you're coming over here and you're saying, you know what, we want to help the African-American community to do better.
Right.
We're going to get in line with y'all, and we're going to find out what the issues are.
Right.
Unless you're doing that, I'm not going to let you come over here and talk about black men, because you don't even understand the struggle of not just black men, but the group of black community, what we have to go through. All of the social programming, all of the constant pulling down, all that stuff is by design. And if people don't see that, where are you living? You must be living with your head in the sand. This is a social construct that has been set up from day. I did a paper on the prison system years ago, not really understanding how deep the paper was. My professor, she didn't give me a good grade because the truth sometimes hurts. Because that's when you know what, when all of this, and I said this to a white guy recently, he was from Alabama. I had a meeting with a white guy at work, and he was talking, we started, the issue of race came up. And I love it when they ask me questions. and I said, it's interesting to me that, white people would call us animals, and why are they burning down their own neighborhoods? I said, but it started with y'all. Y'all was the ones who was coming with the crosses and burning them down in our neighborhoods. We didn't go to y'all's neighborhood.
That's so right.
I was the one with the dogs, picking them on people who were marching peacefully, who wanted to get a drink out of water faucets. You guys started that, I said, and guess what? It hasn't been that long ago. That's been in our lifetime.
That's right.
I can go to my mother, one generation up, and ask them about that. So that has been in this lifetime. We don't even have to discuss slavery, because what they're doing to us right now is far worse than slavery. Because at least in slavery, you knew you had no choice.
You knew.
You knew, you know what, either I'm going to die here or I got to escape. Period, point blank in the story. But now we have choices, and we're not even taking advantage of them. We don't want to educate ourselves. If you go, I was talking to somebody yesterday about the movie 13. Oh, she don't want to watch the movie because she's not ready to deal with that. I said, but you have to.
You have no choice.
To look at that. You have to look at that so it can provoke you to righteousness.
Right.
So it can provoke you to do something, even if it means boycotting Whole Foods and never going to Whole Foods again. Boycott Whole Foods because they're one of the people on that state that support what's happening in our prison system. Don't go there.
Right.
I have private boycotts. See, I'm not like most black people. You go in the store and they disrespect you and throw your money at you or they talk to you. I don't go back to that store.
Right.
Okay? I don't go back. I have private boycotts. Okay? I'm not supporting you. I work too hard to give you my hard-earned money to go buy some weed for you and you don't even have any respect for me. As much weed, I feel like I'm hopping all over, but I'm trying to get my point in really quickly. As much weed as our sisters buy, why don't you own any stock? And
Yes.
you know how much money they making?
Yes,
off of
billions.
Weed.
We're
My
gonna
God.
we're gonna do a show on that soon too. Definitely.
Guess what? Don't own nobody. No, none of these black women don't. Now you may be selling it on our level, on the street level, but
That don't count.
The money, the people making the money are the people at the top that's selling you the weed.
From what I remember, 3% of us. 3% of us. We have 3% of our foot in that industry. 3%.
That's ridiculous.
period or a year period where he fell sick and couldn't work. And that woman worked and held it down. That stuck with him. And at that time, that woman who was looking at him saying, she would have told him, I ain't holding down no nigga like that. He better get up and get it for me because I got to get my hair did.
Yep.
And that woman that stuck by him, built him up, he built her up, and now they have a very, not to be materialistic, but they've accumulated and accrued a nice home. Their credit is okay. They're not driving some expensive whatever, but it's some daggone nice cars that's paid for. They're eating good. And they're not in the richest neighborhood. But if you look down the list across the board, they built something up that would make anybody proud. And the biggest thing that they have is stability and security.
Right.
So the dude that has the sports car now, can he offer you stability and security down the road? Because this is what a woman is made to crave and want and need.
Oh my
now,
God,
see,
that's
modern society tells you, black woman, no. You don't need that man. You need to get it for yourself. Now, there's a partial agreement with me with that because any young lady should be taught that she needs to depend on herself. But you're not to deny that you need security, right? So when when someone comes your way, that has got to be on the list of things. Not no six-pack, not no Audi, not no good head game or he's hung down to his knee. Because you know what? What he got might be going somewhere else that you don't like. And you might be eating some chocolate because the brother's on the down low when you go low. Right? So understand that. There are more things. You see, it's almost like a mortgage, right? When you first get the mortgage, you have a lot of interest. And when you're paying down on the principal, you're not paying it as fast. But the amortization rate, if I'm saying the word right, as the time goes on, you're paying more principal and there's less interest. It may not look as pretty in the beginning, but if you aim your ships right, when it's put to sea, when it's put in the water, and let it flow, and stay on course, and time will go by. Stability and security is a sweet thing because it's a sharp knife that cuts through life like a sharp, hot knife through butter. Everything is effortless. And this is why I personally can do as much as I do because of the union of myself and Mrs. Scurv. Because I know where my socks are, where my underwear is, where my shirts are. Not that she's here just to clean clothes, but we both master our areas of expertise. If it's something to write, I'm a good writer, right? So you write this. Or putting the words together because I'm that kind of person.
Right.
So do you think that I'm going to sit here and say...
You bring out the best in one another.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of a woman, really, and I hope no woman takes this in the wrong way, but that's the whole point of being a helpmeet. And
that's right.
Because that woman really, a man needs help.
Yeah. But
it's the truth. And so, but a lot of times the men today, or the women, neither one of them, they really don't get that concept. Well, my girlfriend that I was talking about, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Her husband, they went through a lot, and I only saw this is me on the outside looking in.
Right.
But they are a beautiful couple. They've been together 20 plus years. He is an awesome. I just have so much respect for him as a man. And I have another friend that's like that. Actually, she's Jamaican, and her husband is Cuban. And they went through a lot. But when I look at both of those couples, beautiful people, beautiful. I look at them; they just make like the most handsome couples. And
energy.
I said this to her. I said, "You two women made them the men that they are today, because they hung in there with them. These men, they were cheating on them, doing all kind of stuff, but they hung in there with them, and I just believe they brought out the best in them as men.
Yes,
because when a man loves a woman and she's a really good woman, she has the power to bring out the best in that man.
Hey, that's something.
And to make him shine. Because, and vice versa. But I do really feel like the men get the better end of that deal, because I do feel like when he has the right woman by his side.
Anchor.
it's no stopping him.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
The woman benefits from that, but she also puts in a lot of work.
Right. And see, that's the thing that many today don't want to do. They, like I said, with that woman who sees the couple already in progress, she just wants to take. It's almost like, and I used to hate this, watching TV back in the day when there was no recorder and you had to watch it. You even had to hold the trip to the bathroom, suffering, because you knew if you got up, you're going to miss it. And you won't see it for another couple of months. And you had somebody who just came in toward the end of the movie when everything was getting good. So what happened? Oh, you didn't put the work in, sitting down watching all this stuff for 2 hours. So now the best 15 minutes are here. Don't bother me. And the other point that I wanted to make was, as far as a man and a woman is concerned, man and wife, we have people who are not married who are together. So if you're in a committed relationship, whatever it may be, your strength in the world and your attitude, your focus and your drive out in the world is directly related to how peaceful your home is and how stable and secure your home is. You ever see the astronauts up in the ship floating around the planet, and they leave the ship and they have that little support cord, that little lifeline, that little life cord that helps to bring the oxygen, and they don't go too far from the ship, but they're floating around, but they have that connection to the ship. If you cut that, they'll float off into, they'll end up going somewhere else, right? So you have to look at that where you have your physical house, but you have your emotional home. And then you have this cord as you go out into the world that's connected to you. And you are breathing inside what is in that home when you're out in the world. And this is why I see the expressions that I do on people's faces, because it may not be what they see out in the world. They're connected to their home, and if their home is in shambles, their home is just out of place and just messed up and in shambles, then the way they look and the way they walk, they're not focused. They can't get anything done. Their mind is somewhere else. But when everything is there and everything is in place, let me tell you something. It's such a nice feeling knowing that if Mrs. Scurv balances up a dime on one of the dining room tables in here and we leave the house, I come back, it's still going to be on balanced up. I know it's got to make her feel good that she knows every penny that's in my wallet. Now, she's not controlling or demanding, but sometimes we'll get something extra on a paycheck, or, we'll cut somebody's grass and get a little extra $35. And she'll be, where'd you get that from? No, she's not territorial, not demanding, but she knows.
Right.
She knows.
Right.
She knows if I come home and I'm not hungry, I dipped out and went to the sushi joint. She said, listen, now I know how much food you eat. And I know when you come home, you're hungry.
That's cute.
Why didn't you touch that plate? You went to get sushi. Because you know what? She knows I'm not touching any one morsel of anything else out there because of the strict way that I eat, which is not strict for me. It's freedom. See, when you're in something and it's good and it's feeding you, it's freedom. How about the little kids that come visit you and they didn't eat at home? They eating you out of house at home. But if they were fed and you offer them something, oh no, thank you. I'm full. Okay, I'll take a cookie because I don't want to insult you, because I don't want to keep saying no. But you're already covered. So when you're already covered, there's nothing outside in the world that's going to entice you or take you away. As a matter of fact, I tell her every time, I need to start paying my speeding tickets in advance so I can speed home without getting interrupted by the cops getting pulled over.
Wow.
You see what I mean?
You know what that says to me about your home is that is good, simple, old school living.
Yes.
That we just don't see anymore. So it just puts a smile on my face because that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Mm-hmm. That's why women envy you. I mean, they envy what you have for the most part. Nobody. What do I need to live in a mansion for with a rich man and I don't have what you have? Right. I mean, I'm empty.
And like I say,
nothing.
Like I say, there are times when we're just having a good old time. Sometime playing tag in the house, 2 a.m, running around the house. I'm hiding and crawling on my knees and sneaking up behind her and scaring her, grabbing her ankle, and she's trying to get me and chase me back, knocking over the chairs, running around. 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning on a work night. giggling like kids. Like, you ever see squirrels running around playing?
Yeah.
And then if she's running from me, that time when we had that L-shaped couch, the angled couch, and I came home, and the light. See, we know the lights were on a certain way, and of course the car was home. Her car was home. I knew she was in, but I knew she wasn't sleeping because the lights were on a certain way. First thing I did was to check the bed. I said, okay, sometimes we'll fall asleep, the lights are on, right? She's not in the bed. So I didn't think the rapture happened, so she's still got to be around. So I'm taking my time, and I'm good this way, not just because I worked in corrections, but I got that New York thing going on. You ain't hiding nothing from me, especially a whole person's body, you know?
Right.
So, one of my tactics is to make jokes, and she'll start laughing, and I hear her breathing because I got good hearing. But she was hiding somewhere where I couldn't hear her.
That is so cute.
So now I'm going through room by room, and I'm going, aha! And she's not in that closet. I'm tipping up on this other one, and I just know I got her. Aha! I checked everywhere. I said, wait a second now. She probably set me up and went outside.
She over there cracking up.
Yeah, she cracking up. She almost went out. She went outside in the backyard, and she's looking at me through the windows like I'm a fool, looking around to about, aha. Then I thought, well, maybe she went up in the crawl space through the garage, and she just went up there to hide. I tore myself out looking for her and didn't realize she was behind the couch in the corner. She climbed over it, and I did not look at that spot. And she's laughing. She remember that time, right?
Oh, I can hear her.
She got me good. She got me good. She got me good. And I got some tricks for her up my sleeve too.
That's good. That's good living though. That's what relationships.
And I'm 53 years old. And I have that little kiddie fun, and then we could turn around and sit down and say, okay, let's write out the bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to have different gears.
Mm-hmm.
She laughing. She full of tricks too.
That's what's up.
That's why we have to do that relationship show. You got to get it on the road.
Yeah.
No, I would love for you to come on. You have a lot of insight, and I can tell you have a lot of wisdom when it comes to relationships. You sound so much like my girlfriend, like both of you. I feel like you have a quiet spirit. Like you talk when it's necessary. And my girlfriend is kind of like that. She doesn't talk a whole lot, but when she does, she has a lot to say, and it's a lot of wisdom. And I kind of picked that up about you. Like you're not like a mouthy woman, but you do have a lot to say. And when you do speak, it's wisdom. So, and that's who you want to, I mean, I'm not married. I'm single, but
that's okay.
That's who, I mean, I'm good. When it's time, it'll happen. I'm not like, out thirsty or anything like that.
Right. And I will say,
man.
as a man, you are wifey material. I mean, you know the term, right? It's not like I'm saying you're a piece of material. But
no.
Right.
I know I am.
Yeah, I'm glad you know it too.
For whatever reasons, and I don't say that boastfully, like, oh yeah, I know I am. I know that I'm a good woman, and I have to know that about myself.
Right.
Because if I don't know that about myself, then I'm not going to even attract the right person to me.
That's right.
And you gotta wait. You gotta wait for the right time too, because I think in a relationship you should pray about it, because you just don't jump about it, because that's how we get caught up into a lot of mess a lot of times, because we don't wait and we don't talk to God about it, but we just jump in these relationships and think it's gonna work on its own like that. It doesn't work like that.
Oh my gosh, you said a mouthful. Now let me ask you a question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay.
Not you, Scurv.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking to Miss Scurv.
Go ahead.
Did you pray about your husband prior to you meeting him?
Yes, I did, and even when we met, after we met, I still praying about it. I was still praying about it. Hoping that I made the right decision, because you're just not going to jump into a relationship, and because I've been there before. So I wanted to make sure, because I was married for a long time before. So I wanted to make sure before I get into something, and I'm not here for somebody to break my heart again. And I understand it, been there, done that, and understand what you into a marriage, and it doesn't matter, every one of us, we all gonna go through ups and downs every day, because we are all human. But when you're going through the ups and downs in your life, You got to try to work it out. But when things isn't working, I truly believe that's not what God really wants for you. Yeah, so sometimes you got to
So you
listen.
can't force it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Like,
you
don't
can't
try to
force it. Yeah, you can't force it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, because you have to wait. And, you wait and you wait on God, you pray to him, you listen. Because if you stay still and listen, you pray and you listen and you meditate, trust me, you will. You will find that right person. You'll send that right person to you. You'll know when it's the right person. You'll know. And in the
That's
midst
so
of
good.
that, trust me, the devil is going to come in the midst of it and try to tear it apart. But trust me, if you just have faith and just hold on and listen to God whispering in your ears, it's not going to fail. It's not going to fail.
Wow, that's good. Oh, girl, you
I want to
inspiring
interject.
me.
I want to interject something on the masculine levels, but I mean, not Mrs. Scurv's words. The time that you're praying, and the time that you're waiting, and we know what we mean here when we say waiting. I don't mean waiting like waiting on the bus. Is it there yet? Is it there yet? But that's precious time to make yourself a better, more improved version of yourself. So when the time comes, you're better. From my point of view,
good.
there are women that I know of and know that wait and pray year in and year out, but they're not doing what they should be doing to make themselves better, to make themselves more attractive in the real ways that a woman should be attractive. You see, okay, if you're on a bus stop, if you take the bus and you're on a bus stop and you're waiting for the bus, is the bus here yet? Is the bus here yet? Is the bus here yet? That bus may not get there for an hour. But then you get home and you say that you're too tired to make your budget, right? Why didn't you make your budget while you were sitting on the bus stop? Why didn't you multitask and make your life easier for yourself by making your day more efficient so when you go home, you can hit the sack and make your head hit the pillow? So while you're waiting, have your hands busy. While you're waiting, look after your health. While you're waiting, improve your diet. While you're waiting, read a book. While you're waiting, go into a deeper spiritual journey into yourself. Learn more about yourself. We all got little jacked up things about ourselves. Clean house while you're waiting and praying. So that when he arrives, if he arrives now and it's 2016, well, you're a better version of yourself than you were in 2015. But if you have to wait until 2019 or 2020, 4 years from now, you had 4 years to make yourself better. So when that time comes, you'll even feel more worthy. You'll even have a better a sense of your value on the market, like a house. See?
And the other
that's
thing,
good.
the
I
other
like
thing
that.
about it too, a lot of us think that by going out there and putting on all these weaves and all this makeup and dressed up and doing all this stuff, we're gonna find somebody. Let me tell you something. What I believe in, if you believe in yourself and you really put your trust in God, you have faith in Him, and you're waiting for that person that you really prayed for. It doesn't matter if you're in a dirty jeans outside working in the yard or whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter if your ear is natural and flying in the hair like mine sometimes.
Love it.
It doesn't matter, because if that person is right for you, trust me, that person is gonna come right to you. So you don't have to do all this stuff to make you attractive to this person. That a lot of times that doesn't even work, because sometimes the man don't even, they're not even looking at that. They're looking on the inside, not the outside, because outside you could be dirty, as I said, and whatever, but inside you have a good heart, a clean heart inside of you. And that's what a lot of men is looking for. It's not how we go out there putting all these long weaves or these long braids in our hair and all this makeup and all this stuff to make us look so attractive and all that stuff.
By whose standards?
Sometimes it doesn't work, because these men ain't looking for that. A lot of them, they ain't looking for all that long nail and all this stuff done. I don't wear nail polish, so I'm not knocking anybody for what they do. You want to wear long nails or whatever, that's up to you. That's how you want to.
Right.
But I'm just saying that sometimes we think that a man is gonna look at us and say, "Oh my God, she was." They don't care about that. They have a one night fling with you, and that's it. They are gone.
Wow.
Nyaman go away.
You don't want to do that. You want to be who you are. Be yourself.
Wow,
Be
that's
yourself.
good.
And if you see, if we humble ourselves, just be yourself, humble ourselves. That's when God comes in. You feel that quiet, nice spirit flowing inside of you. You just have to wait.
That's so comforting too.
You just have to wait.
Yeah, it is comforting. That's really powerful, Mrs. Scurv.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And see, you're just like my girlfriend in that you just talk, you just flow, and it just comes out. And she says things sometimes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have recorded that. And see, she's like, you probably don't even think it's a big deal because for you it comes so naturally. Whereas, myself and other women, women who want to know if that. Let me rephrase that. Women who want to learn and know, take notes. Listen to women who are successful, who are doing it. We can learn from you. I was thinking the other day how, when the Bible talks about that the older women are supposed to teach the younger women. Right. Well, now you have the older women who can't even really teach the younger women because they act like the younger women.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see women like yourself, it does my heart good. It makes my heart glad because there's still hope. You know what I mean? All is not lost. Everybody's not 50-plus years old still going to the club and trying to pick up a man.
Right.
Or even some women in church that go to church every Sunday that's just sitting there hoping and wishing and praying for a man. And it's like, I'm not saying I don't want to get married because I do. Mm-hmm. But I want to make sure, like you said earlier, that it's the right person. Right. Because I went through, I got hurt in my marriage because I really just didn't understand relationship. Right. I'm just going to be honest with you. I really didn't understand, what I should have, what I deserved, even as a woman, much less a person. And so I didn't understand myself, and I shouldn't have even been married, period. Right. If I can just take him out the equation, he did what he did. And a lot of times, women, they go through divorces and they get hurt and they want to blame the man. And I'm not saying that man should not take responsibility, but you have to look in the mirror at yourself, right? Because you attracted that person to you. Right. What was inside of you that drew you to him? I mean, there was something about him that was inside of you that you thought he was all of that in a bag of chips, especially if you married him. So I turned my focus on myself, kind of like what Scurv was saying earlier. Take time to work on yourself and to build yourself up. He did what he did, forgive him and move on. Right. You know what I mean? You can't live in bitterness. You can't be, he cheated. Whatever he did, that's between him and God now. Right. You got to go on. You got to live your life. That's right. You can't be angry. You can't be bitter. You can't tear him down, and you can't do that because in essence you just really end up hurting yourself. Right. I mean, that's just the truth. You're not going to hurt anybody but yourself because guess what? He then moved on, got him a new boo, and you still mad.
And you're just stressing yourself every day, and
yeah,
instead of trying to move on with your life.
Yeah, you got to let it go. You got to heal. You got to forgive, and you got to move on.
Exactly.
Really and truly, you do. You got to go, I mean, I had to tell myself that. I had to, when I went through my divorce, the first thing I did was work on forgiving him. I had to. I knew that I had to, because if I didn't, then it would hold me back. Not for me to get another man, but just me as a person. Because it wasn't even about me. I didn't even want to be in a relationship. I don't know how people do that personally, go from... I was too hurt to even look at another man. So I just was like, I really need to get healed and I really need to forgive him. So I worked a lot on forgiveness, a lot. So, but anyway, I'm not going to hold you guys. I've taken up so much of your time.
It's been very enjoyable. And
yeah, it was so nice talking to Miss Scurv, and I always imagine her to be the way she is, like talking to you. That's how her, being over the phone. I know I haven't met you physically, but that's how her.
That's coming too.
That's how I pictured her to be.
Yeah, and I'm going to make it a mission. Lancescurv.com and all this Lancescurv business couldn't be what it is without her. And yes, I've been doing this for years and years and years, but it got to this level because of her. And much of my ideas, the majority of my ideas, comes straight from her mouth. So I verbally have plagiarized her lots of times. Listen, I got to use that one for an idea. And she'll tell me. We'll be laying next to each other, and you need to get on the show. You need to tell these people, speak about this, and tell it this way. And if not, I'm going to get on there and do it. And more you see she's doing it.
That's so good.
So it's not only me with the fire, but she really got the fire, and she can handle the fire better because she's used to dealing with it because she cooks so well, and in life she can deal with the fire. She's more. I'm gonna tell you seriously. She might be less in body weight than I am because I'm a man. I'm a little bigger. I'm a little stronger, whatever, on the physical level. But her ability to take the blows, to take the pain that comes at you in life and be a warrior and surmount these obstacles, she really is one of my heroes. She maybe never heard me say that about her, but I admire her on so many fronts. And she's so close to me, she wouldn't see it. You see?
Wow.
You see, when you have a beautiful picture, in front of you, and you put your nose on the picture, sometimes you can't see it until you pull away. So she's so close to me that my admiration for her, she can't see.
Wow.
But she inspires me. The things that she does.
You would need somebody like her, though, because really and truly, you can have a wimpy woman.
No. It would. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say
especially,
Yeah.
I mean, from the little that, again, I haven't met you in person, but I know,
you know my essence.
Spirit.
Yeah,
I know
my
you
essence.
by way of the spirit. I know your wife by way of the spirit. And your personality type, you couldn't have a wimpy woman. You couldn't. She couldn't be wimpy. Your wife is a powerhouse.
Oh, yes, she is. She is. Yes, she is.
One of those people that, like, when the Bible talks about the meek and quiet spirit, that is her. And those women like that, they have some. They have some power. And I'm telling you, my girlfriend is like that. She does not say a whole lot, but when she does speak, it is powerful. You're like, oh my God, let me record that.
Yeah.
Let me hear you say that again.
Right.
Because I'm a talker and I'm a people person, and I'm like, but I'm just learning here now lately after I went through Philadelphia. You remember when I went to Philly?
Yes.
Philly was it was an experience.
It sure was.
This past summer, it was really, really tough. And I even called you.
Yeah.
But I'm just learning really how to keep my mouth closed.
I wish I knew how to do that.
I'm learning how to just be, you know what?
No, I know what you mean, though.
You know what I'm saying. Just be quiet. Just let it go, because I'm a warrior and I'm a fighter, and I don't like to see injustices. I don't like to see people mistreated. And I was the one in high school who got kicked out of the class when a teacher was saying something that was derogatory. And I went to Martin Van Buren High School.
Yes.
At the time, it was predominantly white, and
That's
they
right.
were very racist, very racist. They couldn't stand. They didn't want to see no black children come there and get no education. And they would say all kind of crazy stuff.
Folks don't know.
Excuse me, that is not acceptable. Get out of my class. But okay, whatever. I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna sit here and accept that.
That's right.
I'm just not. And so I've learned that you have to curb that to some degree, and you have to go by way of the Spirit and let God. You have to. I can't articulate it in a right way right now, but you have to go into the spirit realm and allow. Thank you. I just got the answer. And allow God to fight your battles. And it sounds religious to a lot of people because they don't understand that. But more times than not, I have learned that when I pray and I shut my mouth and I really give it to God, I have seen the outcome in my favor. I have seen God turn the situation around in my favor. And that's what I'm learning to do, more of that. Just be quiet and allow God, because he said vengeance is mine, and that he will repay. And I think that's another, I'm starting up all over again. That's another element
Nothing wrong
that
with that.
we as Black people, we got to get a handle on that, and we got to get a hold of that, and really understand that God is seeing all of this stuff that's going on, and He's not pleased.
Right.
But yet He's waiting for us to say, He's waiting for us to say, okay, I'm tired.
Right.
He's waiting for us to and come to Him in a way in humility and in humbleness. And I believe when we start to do that, we will begin to see a change, because the hearts of the people right now are asleep, and they don't really understand what's happening. They don't understand the whole premise of what's happening with the election, why they have to put certain people in office. And it's a lot going on. And I'm just going to stop right there because it's getting late.
No, you fed us.
Yeah, it was
You
so
brought some
nice
truth.
hearing you. It's really, oh my God.
You're one of the people that when I get a call, I don't care where I am.
Oh.
I mean, I can't touch my phone when I'm on the bus. But if there was a way for me to know that you were calling and I'm driving the bus in the rush hour, even on the highway, I'm stopping, and I'm not supposed to. But I'm going to make sure I'm going to get that call, because I know you're very busy, but I know when the Spirit moves you to call and you have the time, that it's just going to be just a blockbuster. You never call with foolishness. You never call and leave me feeling drained. Every time we speak, you leave me feeling boosted up. And now I got the treat now.
So awesome.
I got the treat having my wife with me talk with
my
you.
goodness.
She boosts me up. You boost me up. They're going to wonder if I'm on Prozac and amphetamines or something when I go out in the street.
Oh. She definitely has inspired me to get started with my show, though, because I'm like, wow, she sounds just like Michelle.
Yes.
And we need women like her. Like, that's so good. So I just really have to, I just need to write it down and really pray over it.
Yeah.
And
I'll show you some shortcuts. You know I got you.
Yeah, and of course I will, get some counsel from you.
I got you.
But I really need to do it because I feel like there's such a need for it, and not just people, just women.
Yeah,
they need it, and when people are looking for answers, there's a lot of stuff that I just did not know, and I was like,
if you knew it, right?
Huh?
You say to yourself, if I knew this back then, I'd be better off in so many ways now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And that's what we are here for. We are here. We are here for this. Now that you say that, we all need to get together and make it happen.
Because this is what we're about. We live this. This is what we're about. This is not a bragging thing, but I'm saying day in and day out. On the internet.
No, it's not even about bragging. I mean,
right. We live this. This is something we live.
You and your wife live, that is God's plan. You guys are doing what God created you to do.
See, and this is the thing.
You're doing what He created you to do. See, people think, they have this image in their head like, oh, I'm supposed to go and start a nation and boom and bam. No, God is like, run your world in your world that I gave you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Take the world that I gave you, Scurv and Miss Scurv, and you govern that according to the plans and purposes that I have placed inside of you.
That's right.
And you guys are doing that. You don't even know. I have to say this. Mm-hmm. You guys do not know you don't know how many people are watching you guys in terms of your relationship. You don't know. Mm-hmm. You don't know how many people you're witnessing to on a daily that's like, dang, his wife, she got him. He love his wife. You don't know because we don't see it every day.
True.
You don't understand? And the stuff that people are seeing on TV with the couples that's on TV, that's all fake.
Ratchet.
That's all fake. Look at Angelina Jolie and a hot mess.
Yeah.
You took that woman's wife and now what the heck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
But for so long, they were, quote unquote, the power couple, right?
Right.
With all these adoption, all these kids, and now you divorcing the man and trying to make him out to be this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
But was he doing that before you? Because, y'all been together 12 years. So when did this all start happening?
But that's how this world is, to build you up and tear you down.
Yeah, it's a hot mess. So you guys, all of that to say, I think more than not, probably more than you guys realize, you guys are an example to so many people. So many
Thank
people
you.
that watch
Thank you
you.
so
It's an honor.
much.
It's an honor.
I'm serious. You,
It's
you
an
guys,
honor.
and they may not even tell you guys, but trust me, they're watching you. They're looking at how she cooks, how she takes care of you, how you honor her, how you give her kudos. People are looking at that. They like, yo, they got something that's real. That I'm telling you, and see, that's
Wow.
what God is looking for in the earth. It's not this big boom and bam. It's the couples like you guys that are saying you can do this. We live a simple life.
That's right.
We're not living in a 5,000
Oh, no.
whatever 16-bedroom house.
Oh,
But
God.
our life is fulfilled and it's happy.
Yeah.
What you guys have is what people are looking for.
But you know,
You can't put a price tag on that. You
That's
can't
right.
buy what you guys have.
you see what you said about that. The other day I was saying that it doesn't matter. I was telling Lance the other day, something. It doesn't matter if you live under a tree because for me, if I live under a tree, I'm gonna keep under the tree clean and I want to be comfortable and I don't want nobody bother me under the tree because me, if I'm living under a tree and that's the only way that I have to live. Trust me, I'm going to be happy there. I'm going to
Yes.
make the best of it. I'm not going to make it bothers me. That's how I am. I can
Right.
live as simple as ever and I'm happy. I don't, as you say, live in a mansion, whatever, 16 bedroom, whatever. That doesn't have nothing to do with your life and how you want to live and, loving and respecting each other, doing the right thing. You could live under that tree and you're comfortable under there. And let me tell you, you'll be the happiest couple in the world living there.
Oh, wow.
Because you respect
Yes.
So
each other.
powerful.
You don't have to have all this and that to be happy. You don't need all of that to be happy because you have each other. You have each other. But the most important thing in that relationship, you put God first in that relationship. And God is right there with you by your side, no matter. And there's going to be ups and downs and stuff going to happen. But guess what? You'll be laughing and talking and getting out. You never go to your bed and hungry with each other. You talk about it and make it work. Pray to God, hold hands, pray
Right.
to God and be happy. No matter what no one say about you, that's your problem. If you want to say bad things about me, that, it doesn't matter because I'm going to live my
Right.
life,
Right. That's beautiful. That's so awesome. Wow. That's why your life is so blessed.
And by having that, the blessing of that status, there's a responsibility that comes with that. See, so we just can't say, hey, we're blessed and we're chilling out this way. And it is hard work, but there's a responsibility to share. And in this
Wow.
2016, we have the leverage of the internet, and it evolved this way because it wasn't where, Mr. Scurv, now that you're Mr. Scurv, let's go ahead and do this. But
Right.
the more people saw of little things, and they ask, and then I share a little more, and say, hey, she's cooking this way. Let's make it happen. Let's share a little bit, and then the cooking thing, and then we're talking about relationships, and it's wonderful, and
Wow.
it's like a lifestyle thing now. It's much more than
Right.
just a little artwork or a little writing or whatever. So it's like, okay, I'm looking to revamp things to open the doors a little more, and we're not saying we know everything or whatever, but hey, we're still learning, but this is what we do know, and we're willing to share it on so many different levels, So,
Right.
and, I didn't realize, one day I was 25 and I woke up now and I'm 53. So I'm an elder to so many people, and I'm like, I didn't realize that. I still feel good. I still, I used to think elder meant older. So
Yeah.
I am older. But the thing is, I still have a lot of juice in my fruit, and the same thing with Mrs. Scurv.
Yep.
So we're willing to share righteously. And
Yeah.
the whole internet thing is not a facade. This is a peek into a world that already exists. See, some people on a competitive level, I'm going to do this too, and I have to present it this way. It's effortless because this is what we do. We live
Right.
this.
Yes.
If I never did anything on the internet
Who you
again,
are.
we're still doing what we do. If
Right.
I like writing, I would still write. The world would never see it. I like drawing. The world would never see it. I like talking. Mrs. Scurv's ears would fall off more so. This helps keep her ears intact.
Oh, wow.
But Summer,
That's hilarious.
so when I start talking too much and she has to get her sleep, she's like, don't you have a podcast that you think you might want to do? Here's a good idea for you. Take a little walk toward the other side of the house into the studio. And I'm running like that little kid, like, I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, that's a good idea. Just like the little kid who wants to prove to the daddy he's so strong, but the father really wants him to do a chore. I don't think you're strong enough to lift all of those boxes on one side and bring it to the other side of the yard. Yes, I am, Daddy. I'm going to prove it to you. Now, he's going to get it done fast because if he said, son, could you please move those boxes? He may not want to do it. So it's a psych job. So lots of times I'm psyched and it gets to the wee hours. I'm like, wait a second. I'm exhausted now from talking, but she psyched me out because she wanted to sleep.
She knocked out.
And then the people are hitting the comments like, Lance, that was a good blog. I can't even take credit for it, or a good live stream show or a good recording. It was her idea. So it all works out for good. Because, I wake up hungry and there's the food. So, Summer, we're going to take a step out real quick. We got to catch a little establishment before it closes up and whatnot. But I'm going to. I know you're busy, and I usually don't bug you, but I'm going to be calling you more often and say, hey, are you free? Are you free? Are we there yet? Anytime.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just let me know.
I mean, I'm in school, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to bug you. We're always here.
That busy.
We're always here. We're the constant. So it's because sometimes you may have a free day, but you just want to be quiet, and it's okay. As the spirit moves you like it did today, because we didn't know this morning when we woke up, we would do such a fabulous recording. But here it is. And guess what? Somebody might be in Czechoslovakia, might be in India, might be in Singapore, Canada, Russia. Who knows? Down south, Mississippi. They'll hear something that you said and get something from it. That's the beauty of it. That's how blessings are.
I just want people to be helped. And I do feel like this. I do feel like this election is going to wake up a lot of people.
It will. It better. Because if not, we're really zombies.
I know, right? Ooh, that's kind of scary. But all right, let me let you guys go. Have a blessed night, and thanks for taking time to chat with me.
Oh, it's an honor.
It's nice talking to you. Have a blessed week.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Summer.
Too. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Take care now.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at Lancescurv.com and follow Scurv on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under Lancescurv.